My name is Donna O'Donnell Figurski, and I'm your host on Another Fork in the Road. You might have thought I've dropped off the face of the planet on blogtalkradio.com, and in a sense, I think I did. I think we all did. Blog Talk Radio was closed down at the end of January, and we had just a very little time to scramble to readjust and get onto a new platform. It took some time, and hopefully we are coming back and back even stronger than before. So I just want to tell you a little bit about my show and what you can expect on it each first and third Sunday of the month. My show, Another Fork in the Road, did air every first and third Sunday of every month, and I'm hoping to keep that schedule just to keep some coordination going on within the network. We are now housed on Spreaker.com, but you can listen to the podcast anywhere that you might be able to pick it up. So if you just go to Another Fork in the Road and put in a date, I think you will be able to find it. Of course, I'm still guessing because, like I said, we're figuring this all out now. So yeah, all of a sudden, shows are going on, shows are scheduled, and all of a sudden we learned that Blog Talk was leaving the airwaves forever, and for whatever reason. And besides, we were having some problems with it anyway, so it's probably a good push over the edge to start a new platform. And Spreaker was one that seemed like it was very friendly, and we hope that it will be easy for you to join us on our talks. As you know, my talks were usually on the first Sunday at 5:30 p.m. That's Pacific time. I would they contained a guest. I usually had a guest on the show, maybe an author of somebody who had a brain injury, or perhaps a survivor or caregiver. Lots of times I had medical personnel on the show to talk about their take on brain injury and how they can offer help to survivors and to caregivers. As you know, or maybe some of you don't, obviously, anybody new doesn't know that I am the caregiver of a brain injury survivor. And that was the impetus for me to want to get involved in bringing information about brain injury to other folks out there that maybe just didn't know, don't know what's going on. Because back in 2005, when my husband had his brain injury, I surely had no clue what was going on. I was in nowhere land, let's put it that way. And it was kind of, to use a cliche, pushed into the deep end of the pool. And I had to figure it out on my own because I didn't realize that there were more than 53 million people in the world, in the United States, I should say, in the United States, living with a brain injury, that I wasn't alone, that I felt alone. And so I started to do some, research on the web to find out more about it. But it was a long process. It was a very long process because you were picking and choosing and trying to figure out what's going on in your life. And after the initial event, I did have to return to work, and I was a first grade teacher at the time, and I worked for, oh, let me see, another 6 years in the classroom, either teaching first or third grade, while David was, healing as much as he could from his brain injury. And I'll go into lots of details about that later, but not today. So yeah, so it was all very, very confusing. And I don't want to have you reinvent the wheel if I can give you advice, or if I can give you some information that you might be able to take with you and say, oh, I can try that. One of the things I did do, and it was kind of, uh, I don't know, I wasn't planning to do it, let's put it that way, was write this book right behind me. That side. Okay, well, you're only going to be listening to this anyway, so you won't even see it. But anyhow, that's the book, Prisoners Without Bars, A Caregiver's Tale. And so basically this book is about David's injury and my take on it and how I was able to get into helping him in any way. Every way I should, as every way in any way I can. So anyway, I'm not going to go into the book right now either, but that is a resource for you to use. And so what I'm trying to do today basically is just give you a little bit of input on who I am and why I'm doing this, and hope that you will be able to join us for shows in the future. Um, right now, I've interviewed more than 250 maybe. I've had, caregivers, survivors, therapists, any of those people, authors of books about brain injury, and they're all listed under Spreaker now. They were able to be moved over from the brain blog talk. Sorry, getting confused there with all these acronyms, with all these names, URLs. So yeah, they were all moved over, so they're still available. Thank goodness. I do have a blog, survivingtraumaticbraininjury.com, which you can also go to and see lots of information about brain injury. At that blog, on the air show menu, prior to January 31st, you could have seen every one of my shows by just scrolling down, finding the show you were interested in, and clicking on it. And it would take you directly to the show, and you could listen to it. And most of my shows run about an hour and a half, about an hour and a half. And so it was right there and easy for you. However, again, with Blog Talk Radio going down, the links are all disconnected. So until I can reconnect to Spreaker, that page is not going to do you much good, unfortunately, and a lot of work for me to reconnect everything. But eventually I will get that done. But I don't want to sit here and wait for that to happen. I want to start some new shows, get some more information out there, meet new people. So that's what we're going to be doing from this forward on. So so I'm not going to go into a whole lot, as I said today, and I think this gives you just an introduction of what might happen in the future. So I hope that you will tune in to hear me talk about brain injury, something that we all need to know more about. Whether you are in a situation that either you're dealing with personally as a survivor, or if you're dealing with it as a caregiver, it's still a huge commitment to people and a huge commitment to your own health. So I hope that I can give you some help and some guidance in that way. You'll not get any medical advice from me. I am not a medical professional, but you will get suggestions of things that maybe I did that worked for me, worked for David. And so you pick and choose. It's a menu, like go to one of those buffet menus and you go in there and you see, oh my gosh, there's so much, and you get overwhelmed and you say, oh my God, how am I going to do all this? Well, you don't. You pick this and this and this, and you stop and you go and you use it. You use it however you might be able to do that. In a gourmet restaurant, or not a gourmet, in a buffet restaurant, I like to go, I'll have a taste of this and a taste of this and a taste of this, and I pretty soon my plate is full to the point where I can't eat all that. And but so that's why I suggest coming back often and picking one or two things to do, and that might help you. So on that note, I'm going to sign off and say I hope to hear from you. You can contact me on my email at Donna O'Donnell Figurski @gmail.com. And I'll say that again. I'll spell it out for you this time. It's DonnaO'Donnell. My parents had a sense of humor. Figurski, Figurski @gmail.com. So yeah, if you have any questions, please contact me, and I'll see if I can help you out in any way possible. So until the next time, and today is March 16th, a Sunday, and it's going closing in on 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm hoping to have this audio up by then. And then I will see you again in 2 weeks. I think, let me see, I don't even know what the date is in 2 weeks. Um, I barely know what the date is today. Okay, it's actually going to be 3 weeks because it's the first and the third Sunday, so it'll be April 6th that I'll pop back in and say hi, okay? And I hope that you have a great several weeks. All right, folks, take care. Bye bye.